How these little blocks can help you scribe solo. Definitely want to scribe this to fit. Now, I could just measure this in a few random places, or I could just measure, and hope that it was all the same, or just pick a number that's kind of close and rely on caulking. That never works well, or at least in my opinion, it never works well. So we're gonna get this going here today. Now there's other ways to do this. This is just a method that happens to work well for me if I'm working solo. Flush up a block. Now, there's a little bit involved in deciding what you're doing for a block. I've got 1-inch blocks here. And the reason I've got 1-inch blocks is because I know that I can cut any material on any of my jambs or rip any of my material down to be within an inch of what I actually need. But that moved a little. Small nails so they don't blow through. And essentially this is just going to create a stop so that I know when this material slides in an inch, when I carve off that inch, as you can see, we're against the wall, we're touching everywhere here. Now with a 1-inch block, I'm taking care of that offset that I've created. And let's sit here to get the last little bit. I'm just not tall enough to do full 8 foot. Wow. 94 7/8. Okay. So now I can either use my small skill saw, or I can take that to the table saw and rip that on a bevel. And then we'll see how it fits. And I've got to take a minute and get some tools out. This is absolutely horrendous material to work with. A lot of that stuff happening. All right, I just couldn't deal with the twist in that other piece. So I've gone ahead, I've broke down another piece. Just gonna rescribe it and try again. All right. And that piece doesn't look like a banana when we're done. Much better. This is gonna be much closer to the truth right up. I like it. In fact, I might be just a hair shut. No, we're on plane. Nice. There's other ways to mark your reveal. I am still a fan of combination square. It still brings me joy. I've already got my reveal marked on this. and 75.5 strong to my reveal. I know I'm looking about a 1/2 inch reduction, so 75 strong short to short. That should be my top and bottom pieces here. Short to short measurements can be problematic at times. So I use this little trick here. I know I'm looking for 75 strong. I line my material up with the end of the table, hook on, come on down, and we are just strong of 75. So when I just need to take a whisker off, I'll bring the blade down, I'll force the material over tight to the blade, bring that up, and then I'll bring that down under power. And you'll see here, we're gonna remove just a little tiny bit. Again, over, tight, bring that up. Cleans it up. Bingo. Now I can glue this up, essentially pre-assemble it, have it ready to go. I can take it over there, drop it right on the window. Also, gluing your joints is always a good idea. Nice to have a damp rag on hand when you're doing this for a couple of reasons. One, I'm a messy kid. And with poplar and stuff like this, it's a good idea to size your joint. So thin layer of glue, you just rub that into that end grain. It gives you a better bond. Allows your glue to bond better, I should say. Closes up that end grain. Basically, the wood is not going to eat your glue, because that does happen. I could get all fancy and brush this around, but I'm a bit of an animal when it comes to this stuff, and you just, time I go find the brush or where I've left it, I've already moved on. So well, I do like a foam table for working on because it keeps stuff from moving around quite often. I also am not a fan of working on a foam table because sometimes the surface is just not quite stiff enough to do what you need it to do. These are great. They work very well. They are super lightweight. I've never had any issues with them personally. Overall, they're pretty darn cool. I'm gonna let that tack up for half a second, and I'm gonna hit that one more time. That's one of the beauty of the offset pins. So you're not quite happy with your clamp. That one is going to require just a little extra oomph, and that's okay. This guy has got the ability to do that. So this is one of those ones where you pick your poison, all right? The dimension of the stock is clearly different. That's easy to hide. This inside joint has to line up, and it's nicer if the profiles line up as well. Clean up the glue in these little spots. Saves you having to pick it out afterwards. And quite often, the painter's got to clean up a few things anyways, but make their lives a little easier. Anyways, so we'll wait for that to set up, then we'll go pin it on the wall. All right, I've got the clamps off of this. It is set up and ready to go. One of the reasons I'm not a huge fan of this poplar is it is just not consistently sized. This is awkward to do solo. I will not lie on that. All right, we are close. And you can see, again, I know this is dead level straight, so it's just the cup in the material, and it is really hard to get this to look like something.